Okay, so the question is, can you talk about tapering for a race? If this person is doing 15-hour weeks, how and when do they start winding down? So this is going to depend a lot on what type of race it is that you're tapering for and kind of what the priority is for you, whether it's kind of A, B, or C race. Um, Generally, a taper means cutting the volume of your training while maintaining intensity. And we do this so that you can drop some fatigue, but still stay sharp and have your legs feeling good on race day. If you've ever noticed your legs feeling flat after a rest week or time off, you'll understand why it's important to stay sharp, and maintaining some intensity in your training will do that. But tapering is kind of a black art. It's very individual. So here's some things to keep in mind as you kind of think about how you are going to taper. So if you know that you are someone who typically needs some time and some hard workouts to turn back on after a rest week or some time off, you're going to want to taper with a little less severity, meaning you'll maintain probably slightly more volume and certainly more intensity in order to avoid that flat feeling. So yeah, holding on to a little bit more work, basically. Generally for an A race, you might cut volume by as much as half in the week or weeks leading up to the event. Some of that's going to be dictated by what type of event it is that you're tapering for. So for example, like an ultra event is going to require often like a 2-week taper, where a 1-day race might be more like, if it's an A race, maybe 5 to 10 day taper. For a B race, kind of 2 to 5 days. For a C race, maybe a day, maybe you train right through it. Although I will add, for me personally and my methodology, even for C races, I like people to rest for a day, just because that usually, just like a key workout, you need to be fresh enough to go deep enough to be able to get the training effect that you're looking for. But I suspect you're not asking about C races. So, with respect to A races, I don't coach you, but I remember chatting with you, and I think you said that you're primarily focused on road stage races. And so, assuming this is an A race for you, without knowing anything else about you, I would kind of be thinking about like a 5 to 7 day taper where you cut volume by like a third to 1/2 of what you've been doing, and you cut the volume of your intensity, meaning the time that you're spending in zone for the intensity that you're doing, by maybe 20%. So like a small reduction in the volume of intensity that you're doing, but maintaining some good hard work at the intensities that you've been training at, that you expect to encounter during the race. So here's another caveat though. Depending on how the stage race is laid out, what your goals are, if you're wanting to target later stages, then you may do a more severe taper and come into the race feeling a little bit flat. Kind of expect to feel flat on the first or second day. For example, like for a 7-day race, maybe you understand and accept that you're going to be flat for days 1, 2, maybe even 3, knowing that you're going to lose a little bit less than other people, so you can be kind of by comparison flying in the second half of the race. More than likely you're talking about like a 3-day stage race. So if you are targeting this day 2 or day 3, then again you'd want to taper a little bit more severely. Maybe you're a little bit flat on day 1, but you kind of expect that you are really going good for days 2 and 3. So this is going to depend on your goals for the race. If you have, you're targeting a specific stage, if you have a specific role on the team where maybe your, skills or fitness is going to be better served to help the team in the later stages. So that gives you some things to consider as you kind of plan your taper. That gives you some background. General principle: cutting volume, maintaining intensity. But the duration of the taper, kind of your specific question about when you start to wind things down, really depends on the type of race, the priority that it has for you, and specifically how you tend to respond to rest. So kind of 5 to 10 days for an A race, 2 to 5 days for a B race, and maybe 1 or 2 or no days for a C race.